Resident Evil 2 was released in 1998 on the PlayStation and was an instant classic. My brothers played the game to death, no pun intended, and when I finally got a chance to pick it up for myself, I was also immersed in the survival horror epic. While the gameplay and story are the cornerstones of the title, the music of Resident Evil 2 has a place of reverence in my memories. Memories of being gutted by a giant mutated scientist monster, but fond memories nonetheless. A few years back, a remake of Resident Evil 2 was announced for the current-gen consoles, and as the release drew closer, trailers dropped online showcasing the gory details. The soundtrack was a shadow of its former self, updated for the modern era, and a bit of a disappointment. However, Capcom, realizing that there was a nostalgic demand for the original creepy score, decided to include the option to switch to the original music with the deluxe version of the game. Obviously, I was sold. I played Remake 2 with both music options and found the original score fit the game better than the updated music. In February, I found that Laced Records out of the UK was releasing a vinyl copy of the Resident Evil 2 score, alongside the release of the first Resident Evil score. I quickly jumped to the order page and found that the colored versions of the vinyl were sold out. I settled for the black 180-gram version, placed my order, and patiently waited until May for it to arrive. It arrived yesterday. This is my unboxing video. Right, so we can just take a look right here. It has the classic liquor on it. Very nice. See right here we have the umbrella logo. We have G, otherwise known as William, and the Laced Records logo right here. So we're just going to go ahead and open this baby up. So once upon a time, I was buying a record on Dark Side, and this random customer was in there, and he showed, well, he didn't really show us how, but he showed up this trick on how to open a record using just your pants, basically, just your jeans, rubbing it up against your pants, and it was kind of weird, but I didn't pick up on how to do that, so I just have really sharp nails and I can cut through the plastic without damaging the actual record itself. So first we'll take off this piece right here. I'm not sure what the technical term for this is, the sleeve, I'm not sure what this thing is supposed to be called, but I'm taking it off so we can open it up. Look at that. Look at how beautiful it looks. Look at that awesome artwork. Very nice. Look at that. The original Raccoon City Police Department entrance circa 1998. Very, very nice. Alright, now let's take a look at what else is inside this thing. There must be a record in here. Look at that. Ink ribbon. Ink ribbon on the label. That's just so cool. It's on both, obviously. Fortunately, that's it. It's a little bit light on the details. For $35, you get a double LP pressed on black with good artwork, nice cover, everything's very well put together. Unfortunately, and this is a little bit of a disappointment, no artwork on the inside, no liner notes, nothing like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this guy on the turntable. So as we can see, it plays well. The sound quality's what you would expect from a vinyl pressing. A bit of a note. Obviously, this music was not recorded on analog equipment. Heavy use of synthesizers, heavy use of just computer music. This is a PlayStation era video game. I understand that, and yes, a high quality recording on a CD would be just as good. But this is for the collector in me, so obviously I'm going to want a vinyl copy of this. That being said, I do have CD copies of video game soundtracks I like, such as the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. To find a copy of that on vinyl, very expensive, and I've had that copy since 2003. So, I'm not letting go of that anytime soon. All the same, though, this plays great. Is it worth $35? It's comparable to the same price that I paid for the Castlevania Symphony of the Night soundtrack that I bought last year, and I got about the same frills from that. That was released by Mondo. So I'm hoping Laced puts out more video game soundtracks. I'm always looking for those. One thing of note. It seems to be a recurrent theme with a lot of video game soundtracks that I'm starting to notice that are released in the modern era. Okay. So the Symphony of the Night soundtrack, when I bought it on vinyl from Mondo, it listed Konami Sound Team or something to that effect as the composer. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The original composer of the Symphony of the Night soundtrack, and I'm going to butcher the name, but bear with me, is Michiru Yamane. So I felt she got slighted by that, even though it's an American pressing of a soundtrack that was released over 20 years ago. It's important. Representation matters. That being said, this also attributes the soundtrack to the Capcom sound team. However, according to the Wikipedia article for Resident Evil 2, the actual composers are Masama Ueda, my apologies, Shuzaku Uchiyama, and Shiun Nishigaki. I feel like people should be recognized for the work that they do, no matter how old it is. And Capcom Sound Team is not the same as these people's names being listed on the record. So, in conclusion, is this worth $35? I'd say it's pretty comparable to most other releases, so yeah, obviously I'm pretty happy with my purchase. As I noted, a few of the disappointments here. The lack of proper credit to the people who actually created the soundtrack is one. The other is lack of a proper liner note sheet on the inside is another. But overall, wasn't terribly priced. This is pretty comparable to what you would find in a shop. It's a good conversation piece at the very least, and it's something that I'm pretty happy to have in my collection. Is there anything being released soon that you're looking forward to add to your collection? Just drop a comment below and let me know. We'll compare notes. Thanks for watching.